Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory?
Hi friends, make sure that you subscribe and you like this video, and also press the bell because the bell will let you know when a new video comes out. If you love Heidi, Cherry and Vea, make sure that you go to the link below and you join the Patreon group. Then you'll be part of the Cat Club and you'll get 3 exclusive stories every month for just $7 a month. I hope you enjoy the meditation. I love you. Bye.
Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Are you ready to make sure you're comfortable and snug as a bug in your bed? The light is just right in your room so that you can relax your body and let go of your busy day. It was the evening of Halloween. Corriannda had made herself a very special witch's brew. It's called moon milk. There happened to be a full moon outside, and drinking moon milk on Halloween seemed very appropriate for her witchiness. Moon milk was a drink that her mum had taught her to make, and her grandma taught her to make, and her grandma before her. Moon milk was a mixture of ashwagandha, which is a root that helps you to relax and sleep. It balances your hormones and helps you to be calm. Ginger, which helps with digestion and inflammation. Also, there was turmeric and a little bit of black pepper. The turmeric powder also gave the drink a really pretty golden color. This was all in the form of a powder, and she'd mixed the powder together and stored it in a jar with a label on it that said moon milk. 1 scoop of the powder mixed with warm milk, and then a generous spoon of honey made it absolutely delicious. It was a potion that calmed your mind, relaxed your body, and helped you to sleep deeply and have the bestest dreams. Corriannda had a window seat in her bedroom. It was a place where she could sit next to the window. Her house was set in the perfect direction so that she could see the moon big and full and bright in the sky. Her dad had set up one of the Halloween decorations in the garden. It was a big witch, and it was holding a pumpkin. It was one of those blow-up ones that deflate in the day, but at night time, when you turn the machine on, it blows up and bobs around in the front garden for everyone to see. The witch was placed in the garden right in front of her window, so all she could see was the big, giant orange pumpkin. It made the light in her room orange and golden. And with the light shining down from the moon, her whole bedroom looked orange, as if she was sat looking at the sunset. She looked around her room, no lights on in her bedroom, just the light from the moon and the orange glow from the pumpkin made everything look as if it was in the middle of the desert, and the golden sun was shining down on everything. Everything was orange and burnt like fire all around her room. She loved it. She kept taking small sips of her moon milk and enjoying the taste. The ginger, the ashwagandha tasted a little bit caramelly, and the honey. And she realized that the turmeric had made the moon milk look the same color as her room. The golden light and her golden drink made something feel very soothing and calming. She also loved the energy of Halloween. Through her window, she could hear the sounds of kids far off in the distant trick-or-treating still, just laughing, and noises like someone shouting someone's name. There were a couple of dogs barking in the neighborhood, restless and interested in everyone that came to the door. Trick-or-treating energy is very chaotic. So much going on, so many people, so busy. In her neighborhood, it's always really crowded. Her mom and dad always run out of candy, and they have the biggest bowl, and yet every year they still run out. Corriannda likes to watch, but doesn't like to be out there. She loves Halloween because, she's a witch. What witch wouldn't like Halloween? But the chaotic energy of everything busy and noisy and all the rush and bustle on the streets is not something she enjoyed. It made her anxious. It gave her a headache. But she loved to watch from afar. And sitting in her window, listening, watching from inside, as if she was in another world in her orange glowing bedroom. That's something she really liked. She sat there and stared at the moon and thought about all of the things she wanted to give to the moon. She'd been worried a lot about a test at school this month. She decided to give the moon all of her worries. The test will be whatever it's going to be, she thought. It's time to stop worrying. And she imagined that she was taking the worries out of her head and just giving them to the moon like a gift, like trick-or-treat candy. She'd also noticed that she'd been more anxious this month, nervous about little things. One day she got really nervous about going to school. Didn't even realize why. Why today am I nervous, she thought. But she was. She had a pit in her stomach, and her throat was tight. She was worried as if something bad was going to happen. Nothing bad did happen, and her anxiety didn't make sense. She decided that she would give her anxiety to the moon. "There you go," she said out loud. "You can take it." That happened a lot with Corriannda being intuitive, being empathic. Sometimes she was anxious and it wasn't even her anxiety. Sometimes it was the energy on the planet. Sometimes it was something happening in the stars. Sometimes it was somebody else's anxiety that she was feeling. And it was quite hard to distinguish which was which. She figured if there wasn't anything in her life that she was particularly worried about, and yet she was feeling anxious, then maybe it was the planet's anxiety. It was Mother Earth's anxiety. Maybe she was brewing for a storm, or maybe there was going to be some kind of earthquake or tsunami. Maybe she was feeling the uncomfortableness of what Earth was feeling. Or maybe she was just feeling someone else, and they were worried, and she was just feeling their worries. She decided a long time ago that it didn't really matter where it was coming from, as long as she let it go. She let the moon take it. She took another sip of her moon milk, and she noticed her eyes were getting heavier. Her shoulders had softened and relaxed, and she started to crave her bed. She took one big gulp, the last part of her moon milk, and set it down on a dressing table. She already had her pajamas on, so she climbed into bed. She pulled the covers up to her chin, but she had her arms out. Her bedroom was cool, but her covers were thick and warm, and she liked it like that. She laid with her eyes open, looking at the light coming in through the window, and the orange glow making shadows on the walls. She thought about if there was anything else that she could give the moon. A full moon. New beginnings. An opportunity to let go of everything that she wanted to let go of from the last month that didn't serve her anymore. She couldn't think of anything else. Her mind felt as if it was sinking. Her head got heavier into the pillow. Her whole body felt as if it was softening and relaxing. Like her bed was a big marshmallow that was sucking her in deeper and deeper, folding around her, cuddling around her. She got that familiar feeling of, it's so nice to be in bed. It seemed to trickle from her toes all the way through her body, up to the top of her head. She closed her eyes and felt her cheeks and her jaw get soft and relaxed. She noticed her tummy was a little bit tense. She breathed deep down into her tummy and felt it soften and relax. And then her attention got pulled back into her mind. She saw herself walking through a field full of pumpkins. She was barefoot and she could feel the dirt crunching underneath her feet. It looked like thousands of pumpkins all around her, like a field of orange. As far as her eyes could see, she could see orange. It started raining. The raindrops were big and orange, and when she watched them bouncing off the ground, they were candy corn. Pieces of candy corn falling from the sky. It was banging on her head. It hurt. She put her hands out and caught some, and she ate it. It was candy corn, and the candy corn was gathering on the ground, and she could feel it when she was walking underneath her feet. It was chunky and hard. And then the candy corn started multiplying and getting more and more and more, and she felt like she was walking through it up to her knees. An abundance of candy corn everywhere. And then the candy corn started to cover up the pumpkins. It got so high, and it was up to her thighs. And she was pushing forward, trying to walk through it. She decided to swim. Probably be easier. She started swimming through the candy corn, like she was in a lake full of it. A candy corn ocean. She flipped over onto her back and started to do the backstroke in it. It felt like she was swimming in pebbles. But it actually felt really good. Like she was swimming through, pushing through. She decided to stop swimming and just float. She grabbed another piece of candy corn and popped it in her mouth. And then she started to wonder what would be under the ocean of candy corn. And she flipped around and dived headfirst deep into it. And the candy corn then changed into an orange ocean. And she felt like she was swimming through the sea. Everything had an orange, warm glow. All the fish were orange. She saw a mermaid over to her left swimming, and that was orange. She saw a boat up ahead, and the boat was shaped like a pumpkin. And the part that would be the holes where the eyes were big, giant doorways, and she swam into one. Found herself swimming through a pumpkin, as big as a boat, with seeds and dangly bits all around that felt like vines They tickled when she swam through them. And the seeds felt like the pebbles. And then she found herself swimming on her back again, in the candy corn. She was having the most bizarre dreams. But she was deep, deep asleep, resting so soundly and comfortably because of the moon milk. The next morning, she didn't wake up until 10 a.m. She slept for 13 hours. And when she woke up, she felt amazing, like she'd had the best night's sleep ever. She got up and walked over to her window seat and looked out of the window. Her dad had already deflated the witch and the pumpkin. It was a whole new day. Until next Halloween. The end.